I'm Rantasmo, and Bring It On needs more gay. Cheerleaders. Somewhere in the threshold between 1999 and 2000, cheerleaders were kind of a thing. In the same way that show choir was kind of a thing at the height of Glee's popularity. And martial arts were kind of a thing when Power Rangers was most popular. And how Carrie inspired the telekinesis craze of '76. But in that brief late 90s, early 2000s window, it was all about cheerleaders. And the figurehead of this cheerocracy was the 2000 film Bring It On. Bring It On was originally marketed as a sort of peppy race war.
We might have to have a rumble.
And parts of it sort of are that, at least subtextually, if you can manage to get past that massively obnoxious opening sequence.
I'm Major! I roar! I swear I'm not a whore!
The movie involves a high school cheerleading squad called the Toros, who learn that the cheers they've used for years have actually been stolen from an inner city squad, inner city being a super secret code for not white, called the Clovers.
Can we just beat these Buffies down so I can go home?
You know, I'm not sure that line works when you're talking to someone who is actually on Buffy. But the movie is not quite as West Side Story as the trailer would suggest. In context, that cheesy rumble line is actually said sarcastically.
I mean, we were humiliated on our own turf.
We might have to have a rumble.
This is a serious problem.
Oh, so is your breath.
The racial tension is more of an undercurrent, and the film is actually more like a marginally less quotable proto-Mean Girls. Rather than splitting the narrative between the two opposing cheer squads, the movie shockingly focuses mostly on the predominantly white Toros and their internal conflicts, especially Kirsten Dunst's character Torrance as she struggles with her new role as captain. Though the Clovers are treated with a fair share of sympathy and even get a subplot of sorts toward the end, where they have to raise money to enter the big climactic competition and end up getting it from not Oprah. And they even end up winning first place, without humbly relinquishing their trophy to the white people as a show of respect for actually coming up with their own damn routine. Nor is winning second place treated like some sort of crushing failure, which I definitely appreciate. But Bring It On is also a little unique in its treatment of sexuality and gender roles. I was surprised to learn that cheerleading was originally performed exclusively by men, and women weren't even allowed to participate until the 1920s. And even then, it didn't really become popular with women until the 1940s. Nowadays, cheerleading is usually considered an almost exclusively feminine activity. But in Bring It On, about half of each squad consists of male randos, though some of them do seem to be phoning it in a bit. Woo, go team. But still, subverting patriarchal masculinity. Good job, movie. Unfortunately, no one else in Bring It On's universe seems to have gotten the memo.
Whoa! Sexy Leslie and Jan the cheerleading man. Hey, facts.
Not gonna lie, the movie's frequent use of homophobic slurs is a little off-putting. Granted, most of the people who use them are antagonists, who are supposed to be terrible people.
Missy looks like an Uber dyke.
But then Eliza Dushku's character whips them out in a way that's ostensibly affectionate.
With Jan's straight, well, I'm controversial.
Are you trying to tell me you speak fag?
Oh, fluently.
And Courtney and Whitney, psychedelic?
Yeah, that's not cute, Faith. You just met him. Don't do that. Les is our one token, semi-openly gay male cheerleader. He is gay and he is in the movie. And that's about it. Seriously, there's not a lot to say about this guy. He's got serious Maxi syndrome, in that his character traits consist of nice, hot, and gay. Would have been nice if he'd been given a little more depth and maybe his own subplot. Or at least a few more scenes where he got to do something more interesting than just flirting with hot blonde guys.
That last lift you did was amazing. Thanks.
Eliza Dushku's character Missy isn't necessarily a lesbian, but being a character played by Eliza Dushku, styled in early 2000s alternative rock regalia, some of the other characters do perceive her as such. And since she doesn't get a love interest of her own, she and Kirsten Dunst are one of the movie's more common ships. Understandable, since Kirsten Dunst's romantic subplot is crazy bland. Side note, am I the only one who kind of likes Torrance's doofy disposable boyfriend character more than this snarky, cool music-loving love interest? Yes, the boyfriend cheats on her and recommends a terrible choreographer and doesn't have much faith in her cheer captaining skills. But this guy with his ball chain necklace and his face? Frankly, Torrance and Missy just make way more sense. Not giving Missy a gay subplot, or at least addressing her sexuality, was a huge missed opportunity, especially since the movie has developed a pretty decent lesbian following. Bring It On is watchable, and it does have its fans, but I can see why it never quite reached the same cult status as Mean Girls or Clueless. Its characters run the gamut from inoffensively bland to gratingly nasty, and not even in a cute Amber from Clueless kind of way. The acrobatics are impressive enough, there are a few funny lines, and it does make for a charming bit of pre-9/11 nostalgia, but overall, it's nothing to write home about. And it's one of the few things I've talked about that could genuinely benefit from being significantly gayer. And I really shouldn't have to say that about any movie that contains the phrase spirit fingers.